My parents refused to fund my university education but secretly saved money to buy my sister a new Audi for $50,000. I'm standing in the garage, holding bank statements. My fingers tremble, my heart pounds as if it's about to burst. The family savings account, which they always called our shared safety net, is empty. In the corner, a brand new Audi gleams, black, with chrome rims, registered in my sister Elena's name. They said they couldn't afford my tuition. They lied. It started a few days ago when I found a bank letter in the mailbox. A mistake, I thought, but something urged me to check. Using their old password, I accessed their online banking. There it was, regular transfers, thousands of dollars vanishing from our account, and a $50,000 payment for a car. My parents, who taught me honesty, were secretly funding Elena's lavish lifestyle while I scraped by for textbooks. I recalled how they avoided my gaze, how Mom changed the subject when I mentioned university. Elena had just returned from a trip with friends, flaunting new clothes. Anger boiled inside me. How could they? Why her and not me? The car's shiny surface reflected my pained face. This wasn't just a car, it was betrayal. I gripped the statements tighter. I'd find out why they did this, and they'd regret it. A year ago, I begged my parents to help with tuition. There's no money, son, Mom said, looking away. We're barely getting by. I believed her. I worked nights at a cafe, took out loans, slept 4 hours a day. But something didn't add up. Elena, who lived with us and didn't work, bragged weekly about new purchases, a designer bag, sneakers, a watch worth more than my savings. I asked her, "Where's the money from?" She laughed. "You're just jealous." My parents shrugged. "She's thrifty." But how? She ordered restaurant food, took cabs, while I walked to save cash. I saw her concert tickets, $200. A friend's gift, she said, but her eyes darted. Why was I scraping by while she lived like she had an unlimited card? Dad said, "You're strong, you'll manage." But they bought Elena everything. Suspicion grew. Were they not as honest as I thought? Were they hiding something? I decided to pay attention to details. If they were lying, I'd find out. I didn't want to believe they could betray me, but the truth was seeping through their excuses. One evening, I noticed Dad hiding a folder in a drawer. He did it quickly, as if afraid I'd see. "Just bills," he muttered when I asked, but his voice was tense. I saw the bank's logo on the folder. It wasn't utility bills. Why was he nervous? After that, I noticed odd details. My parents whispered when they thought I couldn't hear. Once, I entered the kitchen, and Mom abruptly switched to talking about the weather. Dad avoided my eyes when I asked about family finances. Elena acted suspiciously, too. She locked herself in her room, speaking softly on the phone. I caught fragments. "No, he doesn't know, Mom. Don't worry." Who was he? Me? My suspicions grew. Elena used to be open, but now she avoided me. When I asked about her new things, she snapped. "Why do you care?" Mom became overly caring, as if distracting me. Dad was harsh, especially when I mentioned university. "You want too much," he'd say, though I only asked for what they promised. Once, I saw Elena get a package with expensive makeup. "I earned it," she said, but I knew she didn't work. My parents didn't react as if it was normal. If there's no money, where did this come from? I tracked small things, receipts they hid, calls they cut short when I entered. My trust was fading. I knew I had to find proof. If they were lying, I couldn't ignore it. Determination grew. I decided to uncover the truth. That night, while everyone slept, I sneaked into Dad's study. The drawer was locked, but I found the key in his jacket. My heart raced. I opened the folder. Bank statements. Transfers to a separate account. $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. A total of $50,000. Then, a purchase agreement for the Audi in Elena's name. Mom's signature was at the bottom. The ground slipped from under me. They'd been saving for years. Not for the family, not for my education, for her. I sat on the floor, clutching the papers. I worked 2 jobs while they lied. Elena bragged about the car, calling it a gift to herself. A gift? From parents who swore there was no money. Anger mixed with pain. They didn't just refuse me, they chose her. The transfers started 3 years ago, when I still believed we were a team. They planned this. I photographed every document. I couldn't walk away and forget. This wasn't about the car or money, it was about betrayal. They thought I wouldn't find out. They were wrong. I returned the folder and went in my room. A plan was forming. I'd uncover every detail of their lie. They'd answer for it. I watched Elena closely. She didn't work, but had money. New dresses, perfumes, dinners out. Her Instagram showed the car with captions about earned success. Lies. I overheard her on the phone. Mom, don't worry, he won't find out. My stomach churned. Who was he? Me? She hid her phone when I entered, changed topics. I asked, where's the money from? She rolled her eyes, jealous. But her voice shook. My parents acted oddly. Mom was too affectionate, as if smoothing over guilt. Dad snapped, mind your own business. I found a receipt for Audi maintenance, $500. Who paid? Not Elena. She got a jewelry bracelet. A gift, she said, but Mom looked away. Everything pointed to them funding her luxury. I was furious. They spoiled her while I struggled. They said I had to be strong. Why didn't Elena? Every clue, her shoes, their whispers, evasions confirmed the betrayal. I dug deeper. I needed the full truth. I couldn't stay silent. At dinner, I said, why did you buy Elena a $50,000 car but tell me there's no money for university? Silence. Elena froze. Mom looked down. Dad barked, how dare you? But I pressed on. I found the statements. You lied. Mom cried, you don't understand. Elena stood, you're jealous. I shouted, I work to survive while you ride in a car they bought. Dad slammed the table. She needed it more. You'll manage. His words stung. More than my future? Mom mumbled, we wanted you both happy. Why did her happiness cost my dreams? Elena snapped, you're selfish. I exploded. I only asked for what you promised. The argument became chaos. Trust shattered. I left, shaking. Their tears and shouts weren't answers. They thought they could brush me off. I wouldn't stop. I'd find the full truth. After the fight, I dug deeper. A bank friend confirmed the account was opened 3 years ago. My childhood savings, meant for college, were funneled there. They stole from me. On their laptop, I found a letter from Elena's employer, a fake company to hide transfers. In her chat with a friend, he's too independent. I'm their princess. I clenched my fists. They put her above me. In a chat with Mom, tell him it's my savings, he'll believe. They planned to deceive me. I found receipts for her trips, a laptop contract, all paid by them, while I begged for $500 for books. They disrespected me. I gathered evidence, screenshots, photos, recordings. My room became a detective's office. They thought I'd give up. I was just starting. Their betrayal made me stronger. I was ready for the next step. I sat in my room, surrounded by evidence. Everything showed they'd deceived me for years. I stared at the statements they emptied for Elena's Audi. Anger mixed with resolve. They thought I was weak, that I'd swallow their lies. Wrong. This wasn't about money, it was about respect they didn't give. I recalled Dad's words, you'll manage. Mom's tears. Elena's gloating. Each piece of evidence nailed their lie. I imagined their reaction when they learned I knew. They thought I couldn't expose them. But I'd changed. Betrayal forced me to grow up. I made a plan, secure myself to not depend on them, then make them answer. I applied for a grant, arranged a campus job, printed the evidence, filed it in a folder, my arsenal. I pictured laying it before them, their faces changing. Tension peaked. I wasn't afraid. Their lie fueled me. I wouldn't stop until I reclaimed my dignity. I was no longer a victim. Their betrayal gave me strength. I applied for a grant, got 70% of tuition covered, arranged a campus library job, found a scholarship, wrote an essay that moved the committee. I didn't need their money. Each step made me sure. I stopped seeing myself as the cheated kid. I was the one who stood tall. But I couldn't let their lie go unanswered. I wrote a letter with evidence, statements, screenshots, receipts. No emotions, just facts. You stole my trust. I'll manage alone. I emailed it to my parents and Elena. I imagined them reading, paling. Not revenge, truth they had to face. I'd changed. Betrayal taught me to value myself. I didn't seek their approval. My worth was in my actions. I planned to graduate, build a career, live without relying on betrayers. I packed a bag for campus, looked at my room, where I'd cursed their lie, and felt peace. They thought they'd broken me. I was stronger, ready for a life where I controlled my fate. Their betrayal was my springboard. At the last family dinner, I was calm. My parents and Elena sat tense after my letter. I said, I'm going to university. Without your money. Silence. Elena gripped her Audi keys. Dad tried to speak, but I stopped him. I know everything. You stole my savings for her car. Lied for years. Mom cried, we didn't mean to hurt you. I cut her off. You chose her. I choose myself. I placed the evidence folder on the table. This is for you. Elena snapped. You're dramatizing. but her voice shook. I stood, walked to the door. They begged to talk. I didn't turn back. I left, the weight of betrayal lifting. They thought I'd stay their puppet. I cut the strings. At the station, I boarded a bus to campus. City lights flickered in the window. I smiled. Free. Their betrayal didn't break me, it made me stronger. I pictured them staring at the folder, guilt gnawing. That was my reckoning, truth they couldn't deny. University, grant, job, all mine, earned honestly. They lost me. I found myself. That was my victory.